So hi guys, welcome back to Super Smash T20 tournament of 2025-26. It's match number 29 today, and the match is between Northern Brave and Canterbury. Canterbury have won the toss, elected to bowl first. It's a very must-win game for Canterbury if they want to go into the top three, because they have suffered a few losses and Central Stags won their game yesterday. As we see here, a boundary to start the over from Catini Clark. This time it's driven down the ground again by Catini Clark, beats mid-on, and that will race away for 4 as well. So back-to-back boundaries from Catini Clark to start this over. Not a great start from Lucky Harper. So Northern Brave are now 31 for 2 after 4.2 overs. Who comes down the wicket, looking to cut it away, unable to make connection. Another dot ball. The Canterbury Kings won the toss and elected to bowl first, and they have started well actually, because they've gotten rid of Brett Hampton. They have gotten rid of Brett Hampton and Joe Carter. Brett Hampton was dismissed by Michael Ray, caught Boyle ball Michael Ray, and then Joe Carter also out for just one. So the Northern Brave have lost 2 early wickets. Oh, this time Catini Clark moves across the stumps, looking to flick it away, I think, and then defends it back to the bowler. Another dot ball from Lucky Harper. Now 2 more deliveries left in this over. Robbie O'Donnell is on strike. Catini Clark is on strike, defends it towards point, and another dot ball. Catini Clark has been the informed batter for Northern Brave. He's always formed those opening partnerships along with Brett Hampton in this tournament, but today unfortunately Brett Hampton not able to make a contribution. Important game for Canterbury. They lost twice. Canterbury lost twice against Wellington Firebirds in this tournament, and that has put them in a peculiar kind of a position. Goes for the pull shot. I think it's too high, given as a wide by the umpire. So Lucky Harper has to reload that one again. The last ball of the over coming up. Comes down the wicket, lifts it over mid-off, and that'll run away for 4. It's 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and into the boundary for 4 to finish the over. So 3 boundaries in that over from Catini Clark. 13 runs came from that over, and Northern Brave are now 36 for 2 after 5 overs. So Travis Muller is the new bowler into the attack now for Northern Brave for Canterbury Kings. And Robbie O'Donnell defends it back to the bowler. Again a dot ball to start the over. Just the thing is that the top three will go through to the playoffs. The top of the table team will go straight through to the final. Goes for the scoop. It's in the air and it's taken by the wicketkeeper. Is it? He's claiming the catch here. Umpire says not out. There's no reviews available. Now what happened there? Was it off the bat or off the pad? Did the catch carried to the keeper? All those questions may arise. He was looking for the scoop there. I think it's gone off the pads probably, and that is why it's given as not out. Robbie O'Donnell still not off the mark. An important match for Northern Brave. They can win this game and qualify for the final actually, the Super Smash tournament. Only 2 more group stage matches left. This is the second last group stage game. That's too high and it's too wide. Yeah, given as a wide by the umpire. So Travis Muller has to reload that one again. Oh, a little bit of in shape. Again, Robbie O'Donnell struggling to get it away here. Another dot ball. This time it's flicked away leg side towards deep square leg. Gonna push for 2. And that's good running between the wickets. Another couple of runs. Finally, Robbie O'Donnell gets off the mark with a couple of runs. This time swings and misses. There's another dot ball. Really good over this from Robbie O'Donnell. The last ball of the over coming up. And it's flicked away leg side and that is in the gap. That will be 1 bounce and 4. The boundary to finish that over. 7 runs came from that over. And Northern Brave are now 43 for 2 after 6 overs after the power play. First boundary for Robbie O'Donnell. So Lucky Harper now is continuing. And that's flicked away leg side. And has that gone all the way? I think it's gone into the banks. Or has it bounced on the way? Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, I think it's gone on the bounce into the boundary for 4. A superb pickup shot. This time it's Courtney Clark with his 5th boundary in this innings, and this partnership now 35 from 21. This time he moves across the stumps, flicks it away towards deep mid wicket. They're going to push for 2 here. And that's good running between the wickets. Another couple of runs for Courtney Clark. It's short and wide this time, cut away again, straight to point. A little bit of a fumble at point. And Courtney Clark picks up another single. 50 comes up for Northern Brave. 50 comes up in 6.3 overs at the loss of 2 wickets. This partnership now 38 from 23 balls. The 3 more deliveries left in this over. This time flicked away again by Robbie O'Donnell towards deep mid wicket. They're going to push for 2 here. And another couple of runs. Good running between the wickets from Robbie O'Donnell. Dare I say, if Canterbury loses this game, they'll be out of this tournament. That is the scenario. Because only 3 teams can qualify for the playoffs. And currently Canterbury are out of the top 3. The table topper will qualify straight through to the final. Second and third will play a playoff game, and the winner of that game will play the team which has qualified for the final. So that is the scenario. That's pulled away again by O'Donnell towards deep mid wicket and picks up another single. So Canterbury have to win today. It's win or bust for them. Because Canterbury, they are not having a good net run rate also. Their net run rate is also the negatives. So it's very important for them to win today, and then they have to hope that Central Stags loses tomorrow's game. That is the scenario actually. Obviously then Auckland will also be in trouble. Last ball of the over coming up. And Courtney Clark comes down the wicket, gets it over the top, and that'll run away for 4. That's another boundary to finish the over. Once again, outstanding batting from Courtney Clark. Ends the over with a boundary. 14 runs came from that over. And Northern Brave are now 57 for 2 after 7 overs. Central Stags and Auckland Aces will be playing tomorrow. I don't think Auckland Aces are safe either, because if Canterbury Kings wins today and Auckland Aces wins tomorrow, if Canterbury Kings wins today and Central Stags wins tomorrow, I think Auckland Aces can also get knocked out. So that is a big scenario. Cole McConkie into the attack, and straight away Robbie O'Donnell cuts him away for 4. Yes, it has reached the boundary. So again a boundary to start the over. Leaking boundaries here, the Canterbury bowlers. If Canterbury wins this game, then tomorrow's game becomes a virtual knockout. Goes for the slog sweep again at top edge. It's past the third man fielder, and that's 4 more. Back-to-back boundaries to start this over. Robbie O'Donnell taking his chances Fortune favors the brave. It's favoring the Northern Brave today. This time again, Robbie O'Donnell sweeps it away towards deep square leg and picks up another single. Actually, Northern Brave have already qualified for the final. They've already got 26 points on the board and they have confirmed top spot. That's cut away in the air and what a catch! What a catch! At point, jumping high, and he's completed the catch, and this dangerous partnership that was building up is finally broken. That's a huge wicket of Courtney Clark actually. Too close to cut. He's cut it in the air. Really good catch. And Cole McConkie gets the breakthrough. 54-run partnership between Courtney Clark and Robbie O'Donnell has been broken. Third wicket goes down for Northern Brave. Courtney Clark is gone after scoring 38 runs from 21 balls, and Northern Brave are now 66 for 3 after 7.4 overs. The current situation is Otago Volts and Wellington Firebirds have been officially eliminated from this tournament. Their tournaments are done. If Canterbury Kings wins today, they'll be qualifying for the playoffs, no doubt about that. Where Northern Brave have already qualified for the final. Just need to know who is that second and third team. If Canterbury wins today, they'll finish second or third. I mean, they'll qualify for the playoffs for sure. If Canterbury loses today, they are out of the tournament. They are the third team to be eliminated. Then tomorrow, Auckland Aces and Central Stags will be playing against each other. If Canterbury wins today, then tomorrow's match will become a virtual knockout between Auckland Aces and Central Stags. But if Canterbury loses today, then Canterbury themselves will be eliminated, and Auckland Aces and Central Stags will naturally qualify for the playoffs. So that is the scenario actually. It's driven by Xavier Bell. Xavier Bell is the new batter to the crease. Can Northern Brave eliminate Canterbury today? That is the big question. I think those two losses against Wellington Firebirds have really dented the chances of Canterbury, in all honesty. Driven again down the ground. Oh, good fielding of his own bowling. Another dot ball to finish the over. So 9 runs came from that over, including the wicket of Courtney Clark. And Northern Brave are now 66 for 3 after 8 overs. So this is a must-win game for Canterbury Kings. They have to win this if they want to qualify for the playoffs. Otherwise, their tournament will be over. It's a clutch situation now. And that is what these tournaments are all about, isn't it? I mean, it comes down to that situation, the back end of the tournament, where you have all these must-win games, high-pressure games. Travis Muller now continuing into his second over, and that's flicked away by Robbie O'Donnell down the ground to long on, and picks up another single to start the over. So Northern Brave are already in the final. After this, they'll go straight through to the final. It's their last group stage game. If Canterbury wins today, it will make tomorrow's match interesting. Otherwise, Central Stags and Auckland will qualify for the playoffs today itself. So I think Central Stags and Auckland Aces are watching this game as well. And they would want Canterbury to go down in this game so that tomorrow's game they can play with much more freedom. Otherwise, it becomes a virtual knockout game for both those teams tomorrow. What a tournament, isn't it? So Xavier Bell hasn't gotten off the mark till now, has faced 3 balls, still on naught. Short ball this time, and Xavier Bell pulls it away towards mid wicket. Are they going to push for 2? No, just a single. Three more deliveries left in this over. Robbie O'Donnell is back on strike. Shot again, pulled away again by Donnell. Down towards deep mid wicket. Good fielding at deep mid wicket. And Robbie O'Donnell picks up another single. I think yesterday's win for Central Stags was a very, very important win actually. Central Stags defeated Otago Volts. And that has put Central Stags in a safe position as of now, although they are hoping that if Northern Brave can win today's game, then they can qualify for the playoffs. That's flicked away by Xavier Bell towards deep square leg. A deep mid wicket comes around as well, picks up another single. One more delivery left in the over. Still have batting left. Ben Pomare, Scott Pugalin, Tim Pringle. Today, unfortunately, Courtney Clark and Brett Hampton couldn't get going, but have gotten out early. Normally provide good opening partnerships. And this time it's flicked away again by Robbie O'Donnell. Down the ground to long on. They're going to push for 2 here. And that's good running between the wickets. Robbie O'Donnell picks up another couple of runs to finish the over. The 6 runs came from that over, and Northern Brave are now 72 for 3 after 9 overs. Those 2 losses of Canterbury Kings against Wellington Firebirds is what has put Canterbury out of the top 3 now suddenly, because they were cruising along in the top 3. But that is where the teams at the bottom of the table, you need to watch out for them, isn't it? They can always play spoil sport. Wellington Firebirds did the double against Canterbury Kings. That was a huge thing actually. Paul McConkie now into his second over, and Xavier Bell again punching it down the ground, picks up another single. This time Robbie O'Donnell goes for reverse sweep, gets it past third man, and they'll run away for 4 as well. Robbie O'Donnell, the captain, leading from the front here, finding the boundaries for Northern Brave when it's needed. The 4th ball of the over coming up. It's pulled away by Robbie O'Donnell towards deep square leg and picks up another single. A good thing for Canterbury Kings is that Tom Latham and Fraser Sheet are playing today in the playing 11, as we see inside out shot from Xavier Bell all the way for 6 over deep extra covers. What a shot that is. Any batter who plays an inside out shot over extra covers, you need to applaud them. Toughest shots to play, and Xavier Bell picks up his first 6, and now this partnership will start to look dangerous. The last ball of the over. It's again full. It's driven down the ground by Xavier Bell towards long off and picks up another single to finish the over. So 13 runs came from that over, and Northern Brave are now 85 for 3 after 10 overs at the halfway mark of this innings. The good thing for Canterbury Kings is that Tom Latham is back into the playing 11 today, and Fraser Sheet is also playing today. Obviously, we saw that he bowled with the new ball. And for Northern Brave, Henry Cooper has come into the playing 11 in place of Fergus Lellman. So those are the only changes today. So Tom Latham and Henry Nichols will be opening the batting for Canterbury Kings. It's an experienced international New Zealand international players will be opening the batting for Canterbury Kings, and I think that should strengthen their batting lineup today. That's flicked away by Xavier Bell. Picks up another single to start the over. Travis Muller now into his third over. Current run rate is 8.46. So far a good, still despite losing 3 wickets, Northern Brave are going at a good pace actually. Current run rate 8.46. If they can push towards 170, 180, you never know. Can be a very good total. That's a short ball pulled away. Lance shot of fine leg, and Robbie O'Donnell picks up another single. And Northern Brave have been unstoppable in this tournament so far actually. The way they have confirmed their top spot, the way they have qualified for the final, and you really need to applaud them actually. 26 points to their name. They've only lost one game. Northern Brave have only lost one game in this tournament so far. And that one loss, guess whom guess the opposition against which Northern Brave lost that one game. That's on the pads, flicked away by Xavier Bell. It's all the way onto the bank. Full and on the pads from Travis Muller. And Xavier Bell just helping it on its way. Picks up his second 6, and Northern Brave are roaring along here. This time it's on the pads again, and Xavier Bell flicks it away leg side towards deep square leg. Pushing for 2. No, they are not. Just a single for Xavier Bell. Northern Brave have lost only one game. Guess the opposition against which they lost that one game. Just need to give a guess. Only one game they have lost in this group stage. They have won 5. They have had 2 no results. We only need to guess the opposition. They lost against Wellington Firebirds, a team which is at the bottom of the table. That is the only loss in this tournament so far for Northern Brave. That too, they won the reverse fixture, but the one loss which they have suffered, it is against Wellington Firebirds. Unbelievable stuff, isn't it? The team at the bottom is defeating the team at the top. As we see another single here. 10 runs have come from this over. Still 1 ball left. Xavier Bell is back on strike, and the way Xavier Bell is going, he's looking very aggressive. Goes again down the ground. It's towards long off. Didn't get enough timing on it. So Xavier Bell picks up another single to finish the over. 11 runs came from that over, and Northern Brave are now 96 for 3 after 11 overs. Well, need to see the new bowler into the attack. That's pulled away by Xavier Bell. That's racing across to the boundary. Oh, good fielding actually by that fielder there. It went so close to the boundary. Matthew Boyle is the new bowler into the attack. And Xavier Bell picks up another couple of runs to start the over. I think the fielder has even pushed the boundary rope big time there in the attempt to stop it. I think the fielder has done well there actually. The second ball of the over coming up. And he goes for a slog sweep. That's nailed. That's absolutely miles back over deep over the grass banks for 6. 100 comes up for Northern Brave. 100 comes up in just 11.2 overs, and this partnership now starting to look dangerous here. Partnership of 39 from 22 balls between Xavier Bell and Robbie O'Donnell. This time around, he moves across his stumps, pulls it away towards deep square leg for 4. 6 and a 4 from Robbie O'Donnell. He is becoming unstoppable at the moment. This time again goes for a slog sweep, but unable to make connection. Another dot ball. Goes for the sweep again. It's towards deep mid wicket. They're going to push for 2. No, they are not. Just a single for Robbie O'Donnell. Moves into the 40s now. What a knock this has been. He's taking Northern Brave to a really good total here, no doubt about that, and it's a must-win game for Canterbury as well. This time it's driven again, down the ground to long off, and that's 4 more. Another boundary to finish the over, found the gap beautifully. 18 runs came from that over from Matthew Boyle. And Northern Brave roaring along, 114 for 3 after 12 overs. And this is exactly what can happen when you get into a losing streak. Now, if there's any team that you don't want to play a must-win match against, it is Northern Brave actually. And they'll be happy to knock Canterbury out here. Lackey Harper is back into the attack in an attempt to break this partnership. Partnership of 48 from 26 balls between Xavier Bell and Robbie O'Donnell. It's a slow ball and Donald drives it away towards covers and picks up another single. I just get a feeling that those 2 losses which Canterbury suffered against Wellington Firebirds are going to be the killer blow for them as far as this tournament are concerned. As far as this tournament is concerned, they could have won one of them. They suffered 2 defeats against the team which is placed bottom in this year's Super Smash tournament. That is completely unacceptable. It's a punch down the ground by Xavier Bell. They're pushing for 2 here. Good running between the wickets. Couple of runs for Xavier Bell, and the 50 partnership comes up between these two batters. Partnership of 51 from 28 balls between Xavier Bell and Robbie O'Donnell. And they are looking good to take Northern Brave to a really competitive total from here. 180, 190 can be a really good total. You can even go more than that, in all honesty. That's flicked away by Bell towards deep mid wicket. Picks up another single. The Wellington Firebirds, they might have finished at the bottom of the table. They might have crashed out of the tournament. But definitely, I mean, I will always say one thing. The most dangerous teams in the group stage are the teams that get eliminated in the group stage very early. Those teams are the most dangerous teams. Particularly when you are having matches against the teams which are placed at the bottom of the table, you can never ever take them lightly, because they will always try to spoil the party for you. The bottom placed teams are always the most dangerous teams than the teams that are actually in contention, because the teams placed at the bottom have nothing to lose. If they get eliminated from the tournament early, they will have an attitude of nothing to lose kind of an attitude. So if you take them lightly, if the teams that are in contention to qualify for the playoffs take those bottom teams lightly, you have to only take them lightly at your own risk. That is what you have to say then. Because every time in any tournament you see, the bottom place teams are always there to spoil the party for the top teams. As we see another inside edge here, it's towards point, and Robbie O'Donnell picks up another single. And now the reason why Canterbury are almost, still Canterbury can come back in this game and try and win this game, but they have gotten themselves into a must-win situation. They were looking more comfortable many matches ago. Suddenly those two defeats against Wellington Firebirds is now suddenly proving very costly. Last ball of the over coming up. Goes for the pull shot. He's nicked it through. He's nicked it through to the keeper. Lucky Harper gets the breakthrough. And finally the partnership has been broken. Robbie O'Donnell was looking really good. Was looking for the pull shot actually. I think it was outside the off stump. Was looking to drag it leg side. It would have been better if he had tried to hit it through the line, but it's got the faintest of nicks. Simple catch, and this is exactly what Lucky Harper can do. That is why they brought him into the attack. They brought him into the attack to break this partnership, and that is exactly what he has done. Robbie O'Donnell, the captain, is gone after scoring 42 from 28 balls, and Northern Brave are now 120 for 4 after 13 overs. Canterbury Kings, actually, they have lost 3 games in a row. They have suffered 3 losses in a row. 3 losses and 1 washed out. And that is why they are in this situation, a must-win situation. That is what I was actually wondering. Like, Canterbury were at the top of the table at one stage in this tournament. And now they are staring towards a group stage exit if they lose this game. How a tournament can turn, you can't even imagine sometimes. Scott Coughlan is the new batter to the crease for Northern Brave. Still 7 overs left. Xavier Bell is still there. They have lost their captain, Robbie O'Donnell, and now Cole Mukonki back into the attack. Xavier Bell comes down the wicket, drives it down the ground to long on, and picks up another single. Now Scott Coughlan is back on strike. Current run rate 9.19. Can they push towards 170, 180 from here? And that will be a really good total actually. This time again driven down the ground by Coughlan. Gets off the mark with a single. Scott Coughlan is very much capable with the bat. We have seen him play some big shots with the bat in this tournament. It's nothing to lose for Northern Brave as well, but they'll be wanting to continue. They'll be wanting to maintain their winning momentum going into the final. They've already qualified for the final. It's full again, and Xavier Bell drives it back to the bowler. Another dot ball from Cole McConkie. Three more deliveries left in this over. Goes for a sweep. Appeal for LPW. Umpire says not out. Umpire says not out. That would have been the huge wicket. Xavier Bell was the man in question. Not out it is. Maybe might have been pitching outside leg. There's no reviews available in this tournament, so can't go for any review. Two more deliveries left in this over. Good over so far from McConkie. Comes down the wicket again, and Xavier Bell hits it down the ground long on and picks up another single. 3 runs from this over so far. Good bowling, good over from McConkie. Exactly what Canterbury need. The last ball of the over coming up, and Kugelin hits it down the ground to long on, picks up another single to finish the over. So 4 runs came from that over, and Northern Brave are now 124 for 4 after 14 overs. We haven't seen that many 200 plus scores in this tournament, in all honesty. So Michael Ray is back into the attack, into his 3rd over. Need to keep taking wickets here, Canterbury Kings. A 64% chance of rain today, so hopefully the rain can stay away. Here's Michael Ray. Kugelin swings and misses. That's a good ball from Michael Ray. Dot ball to start the over. So ever since the wicket of Robbie O'Donnell, things have slowed down a little bit for Northern Brave here. Second ball of the over coming up. Swings and misses again. Another dot ball. Good start here from Michael Ray. 2 dot balls to start this over. Kugelin is swinging and swinging, not able to make connection. But we all know that Kugelin also has the big shots. If he connects, it will go a fair distance. Well, what has happened here? Well, the covers are coming on. It looks like it's raining here. And this is not good news, particularly for Canterbury. I'll just pick out the scenario. What will happen if this match gets washed out? Now, if this match gets washed out, Canterbury Kings will end up with 20 points. It doesn't matter for Northern Brave. They are already in the final, irrespective if there's a washout, if there's a loss, win. It doesn't matter for Northern Brave because they have already qualified for the final as far as the scenarios are concerned. Canterbury Kings will finish with 20 points. And that will also mean that Canterbury will be eliminated because Auckland Aces are on 20 points, Central Stags are on 18 points. One of those two teams will win tomorrow's match. So even if this match gets washed out, Canterbury will be eliminated. Because Canterbury will finish with 20 points. Tomorrow Central Stags can win and they can go to 22 points. Auckland Aces, if they win, they can go to 24 points. No, wait. Auckland Aces will go to 24 points. No, like if this match ends in a washout, then Canterbury Kings have to hope that Auckland Aces wins tomorrow. Then maybe they can qualify for the playoffs. Because if Auckland Aces goes to 24 tomorrow, Central Stags will be out, isn't it? So again, it becomes a kind of a virtual knockout actually tomorrow. I mean, I'm getting confused actually the scenario. I'm just assuming that this is a washout. Obviously, still the game can resume. Canterbury will finish with 20 points. They will go to third position in the points table. And then tomorrow's match becomes must win for Central Stags. Because if Central Stags wins tomorrow, then Canterbury will be out because their net run rate is also in the negative, nowhere in match with Auckland. I think Auckland will qualify. If today's match gets washed out between Northern Brave and Canterbury, Auckland Aces will officially qualify for the playoffs because Auckland are already having 20 points and they are having a positive net run rate as well. So Auckland Aces will qualify for the playoffs. Unless Auckland Aces lose by a very big margin, which is highly unlikely tomorrow. So Auckland Aces will qualify for the playoffs if today's match ends in a washout. And it will only be a toss-up between Central Stags and Canterbury to see who finishes third. So in case Central Stags wins tomorrow, then Canterbury will be out today. So again, not a good happy position to be in for Canterbury. You need to be depending on Central Stags to lose tomorrow's game if you want to progress through to the playoffs. So all kinds of situations, but unfortunately now the rain has started to come down. Match has been interrupted due to rain. We'll be back again once the situation improves and once the rain reduces. So until then, please stay tuned for further updates. If anyone wants to see the points table, I can show it here also. No doubt that Katini Clark has the most runs in this tournament so far. Tom Blundell is on second position, but his tournament is done. Now look at the points table here. Northern Brave are already on 26 points and they are already through to the final. No one can catch them. No one can go to first place. That is sealed. Now it's between Auckland Aces, Central Stags and Canterbury Kings. Canterbury Kings are on 18 points. Remember, in the Super Smash tournament, teams get 4 points for a win and 2 points for a washout. So that is the point system. So if Canterbury, if today's match gets washed out, obviously Northern Brave will finish with 28 points, but Canterbury Kings will finish with 20 points and they will go to number 3 position in the points table. So that will mean that Auckland Aces have already qualified for the playoffs because Auckland Aces have a positive net run rate. Look at Auckland Aces net run rate, 0.472 plus 0.472. Whereas Central Stags and Canterbury are having net run rate in the negatives. They are having it in the minus. So I don't think Auckland Aces will lose by a humongous margin that their net run rate will dip from plus to minus tomorrow. I don't think that is going to happen. So Auckland Aces will be through to the playoffs if the match gets washed out today. But then it will be win or bust for Central Stags tomorrow. Like Central Stags have to win tomorrow. If Central Stags wins tomorrow, Canterbury will be out. If Central Stags loses tomorrow, then Canterbury will qualify for the playoffs. So that will be the scenario because Canterbury will go to number 3 today if it gets washed out. I'm still assuming that if the match can still resume. If Canterbury loses today, they'll be out today itself. So, I mean, that is still possible, but I'm just selling the worst case scenario. If it gets washed out, Canterbury will go to number 3, Central Stags will go to number 4. Then it will be pressure on Central Stags tomorrow to win the game and qualify for the playoffs. So, that is the scenario. I just wanted to show the points table. I've shown it. So it's clutch time here in the tournament. Towards the back end of this tournament, all these must-win games come in. Well, there was 64% chance rain today, and that is why the rain has interrupted the game. Our forecast never says anything wrong. If it says that rain will come, then definitely rain will come that day. So we'll be back again once the rain reduces and once the situation improves. So until then, please stay tuned for further updates. So, hi guys. Actually, unfortunate thing, the rain never stopped. Persistent rain ensured that today's match has ended up in a washout. So that means that Auckland Aces are now through to the playoffs for sure. Officially, we have two teams that have qualified for the playoffs now. Obviously, Northern Brave are already through to the final. They have finished with 28 points. And Auckland Aces now, as we saw in the points table, they're having a superior net run rate, positive net run rate. So Auckland Aces are also already through to the playoffs now. Canterbury Kings have gone to number 3 position now. They have finished with 20 points. That's why we saw the worst case scenario of what happens if the games get washed out. Obviously, the points table won't be updated now. You need to give them time to update the points table. But Canterbury Kings would have gone to 20 points and they will be at 3rd position. So, which will mean that tomorrow Auckland Aces and Central Stags will be playing against each other. If Auckland Aces wins tomorrow's game, then Canterbury Kings will be through to the playoffs. But if Central Stags wins tomorrow's game, then Canterbury Kings will be out. Central Stags will qualify for the playoffs along with Auckland Aces, and it will be a rematch in the playoff match. So that is the scenario. Unfortunately for Canterbury Kings, they would have wanted to play this match and they would have wanted to win it, but unfortunately it ended up in a no result. Such a crucial crunch game for Canterbury Kings. It has ended in a no result, and now all Canterbury can do is they need to sit back and watch tomorrow's game, and I hope that Auckland Aces can do them a favor to get them into the playoffs. Auckland Aces, they themselves have qualified now. It's only about whether Central Stags or Canterbury are going to be qualifying. Central Stags have their fate in their own hands. They can win and qualify for the playoffs tomorrow. But if Central Stags loses, then Canterbury will go through to the playoffs. So that is the straightforward scenario for now. So unfortunate that today's game has ended up in a no result. Both teams get 2 points each. Northern Brave are already through to the final. So they'll be preparing for the final. They have had a fantastic tournament. They finished in the top position. They finished in first place. We'll need to see whether Central Stags or Canterbury are going to qualify in that 3rd position. So we'll be back again tomorrow to cover that match and also the playoffs of the Super Smash T20 tournament. So until we come back again, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Runs and Views. Take care guys, cheers and have a good day.
Thanks for watching. Like, and share. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.